We have to press the government for reparations. Listen, as long as you ask for a job, and they don't have them these days, but they can promise it. You're going along to get along. Do you know why Elijah Muhammad put on the back page of Muhammad Speaks? We want freedom, full and complete freedom. We want justice. We want equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. We want equality. We want equality of opportunity, and we want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society. But then in point number 4, he says we believe that those of us whose parents, have been here for 400 years, and we believe that you offered us integration as a hypocritical trick to make us believe that our 400-year-old enemy has now become our friend. We believe that this is the time in history for separation. And he said, since we can't get along with you in peace, then we think what we've contributed to America, we should have some of this earth that we can call our own. So we need 8 or 10 states with an outlet to the sea. And we want you to supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 or 25 years until we can go for ourselves. Now, I had a talk at Harvard with that man, the senator that died, Moynihan. He had talked about birth control among blacks, and I went to Harvard and we had a little debate, and I told Mr. Moynihan that, we wanted to be separated from you. We don't see you giving us no justice. So we want some of this earth that we can call our own. And I was telling him that we were willing to go into underbrush and cut the underbrush down and fell the trees and build a nation of our own. And I was telling the Honorable Elijah Muhammad what I told Moynihan, and he said, stop, you was doing all right till you got to that part. Say, you don't tell a white man that you're willing to go back and cut no underbrush. We already did that once. If we have to do it again, that's not progress. Hell no. Get out of the cities and the towns that we helped you build. Go and find some other state to move in. You move out, we move in. Now wait a minute. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, that's a pipe dream. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then. You better start smoking what this is. Because that mess that you talking ain't making no damn sense.
That's right. That's right.
You gonna wait around here another 100 years so they can bamboozle you some more?
That's right. Right.
He said, well, 8 or 10 states, let them go out, we go in, and let them take care of us in that separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, they won't do that. Listen, they've been taking care of Israel for 55 years. They've given Israel over 100 billion of your tax dollars, and Israel haven't done nothing for them. You mean to tell me we who built the country, we who bled and died to maintain the country, we who gave it art and culture and seasoning, and we can't get along with you in peace as long as we want equal justice? Hell no, we can't wait for you to change. Right. We want a nation. We want to be able to prepare a future for our children. We don't need no rich middle class of Negroes who can't do nothing for the masses of our people. We need land and territory that we can call our own. So reparation got to be on the agenda. We need land, Mr. President. You got all this Federal Reserve land. What you reserving it for? Yeah, we need cash. Hell yeah, print some more. in your foolish state, what are you going to do with 20, 30, 40, $50,000 but give it right back to the enemy? It ain't about money. It's about that which will prepare a future for you and your children. You're not going to be on welfare for the rest of your life. You're not going to be out here scrounging and begging white people for a job for the rest of your life. But if you got land that you can build a real world out of it for yourself. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, well, I put it there. They may never give it to you. He said, but I want you to know what justice looks like. So they won't offer you a white woman and a few dollars and you think we made it. Some of you Negroes will sell our people out for just a little position with white people. You won't sell us out. You'll be buying your funeral. The future of our people is not to be compromised. It would be better that you were dropped in the bottom of the sea with a millstone around your neck to betray the legitimate aspirations of our people. We got to come out from among them. We got to leave Pharaoh. Leave him. The hell with it. Leave it. Force him to tell you, nigga, I ain't giving you nothing. If you put it on the table strong enough, he'll come out of his bag. See, today he's smiling. Hi, brother, how are you? See? But if you say, no, wait, no, smile, no pat on the back. Yeah, let's talk about reparation here. Okay? Then you see him change. Face get red. He opened his mouth and these teeth turn into fangs. Horns come up. Say, now look, we'll give you a monument for the slaves. We'll even help you Negroes have a museum on the mall in Washington. But we'll be damned if we're going to give you anything. Say, well, fine. You're not going to give us nothing, and we're not going to give you nothing. We ain't joining your army. We're coming out of it. We ain't paying no taxes to support a system that's against us. Hell no. See, now you're throwing down the gauntlet. Now either God is real or we don't need him. God damn it, if God can't come to our defense, who the hell need a God that won't fight for us? Yeah! So all you scared to death niggas that think that God ain't real, we gonna prove that he's real, cause we calling this cracker out. God damn it, come on out then. And if God be God, then stand up for us like you stood up for the children of Israel. Yes, sir. Come on. I don't represent no punk God. No, sir. No, sir. I represent a God that make rain, hail, snow, and earthquake. I represent a God that has power over the forces of nature. I represent a God that can turn men's minds to thinking and doing as he pleases. And he real, he ain't no damn spook. So all of you that fear the white man as a God beside Allah, get the hell over here. I'm willing to die for the righteousness and the freedom of black people. And I'm not no damn fool. Keep on your feet. This is a day of separation. Yes, go ahead. Y'all not going to be together. That's right.
All right, family. Greetings, everyone. How's everyone doing? Assalamu alaikum. Glad that you could make it to this Far Money Network broadcast presentation. Broadcast presentation. And Fard Mahdi, CEO and founder of Far Money Network. And I'm here with my beautiful wife, uh, who is the first lady of Far Money Network. And we have a powerful stream for us today. We represent the new generation of followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, the Most Honorable Muhammad, and all of the above. And we are here because we want to talk about, family being the cornerstone of a great nation. And this broadcast, Separation and Independence, is something that I created. Wa alaikum salam, everybody. It's something that I created, or we created, or started about a couple of years ago, maybe in 2021, maybe 2020. Because at first it was separation of death, and then we said, no, let's go with separation of independence, because we didn't want to really spook everybody out. Because some of this stuff is just too hard. Everybody can't take it. So with this show tonight, we want to start our series that me and my wife, Sister Yatira MacD, that we are gonna do together on Thursdays. It'll usually be at 10 o'clock, but we was pressed for time trying to get the babies in sleep and get everything situated so we could do this stream peacefully. But typically we would do it on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. But we had a late start tonight because this is really the launching of something new. And it's also in accord with our Project Exodus 10,000. Project Exodus is something that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave the believers in all of the nation and everybody in the community, the black community, back in 1998, where he wanted us to separate from working for our enemy, our working period, receiving a paycheck. He wanted everybody doing for self and being an entrepreneur. And we know everybody say that. Hey, everybody black can't be an entrepreneur. Everybody can't own a business owner. Well, tell that to the Jews. Don't tell it to us. Because how many Jews have you seen working jobs? How many Jews do you know work at your job? All right, just think about that. So don't tell us what we can't do. Just tell us what you're not willing to do. If you don't want to be an entrepreneur and a business owner in our community, then don't do it. Then you continue to take out the trash, cut the grass, cut hair, do whatever you need to do to make your legal, to make you some, what they call it, gainful employment. Then you stay gainful employed and do that. But don't tell us what we can't do because the Jews do it right in our face. And so they don't have mass of they people running around working for somebody else. So the Arabs don't even have that. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? That we can go through other ethnic groups that don't have that, but they got millions of they people in America, but we don't see them, millions of them working in the job force. So don't tell us what we have to do. We was brought over here to be slaves, to be servants, to have jobs and work for somebody else. So it took the coming of God to free us from that thought, but we got to act on the thought. So we are just represent a family. We've been married for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years, April the 18th of this year, that we have been married. We have 2 children. Together, we have 4 total, with a 5th on the way. So this is a growing family, and we do for self. I haven't had a job in 5 years. When I met my wife, when we went into our righteous courtship back in the beginning of 2019, I didn't have a job then. I had been off the job for about 1 year. So 1 year later, I met my helpmeet, and I had a vision. I had a plan. We had already had Far Money Network established, and she came and she aided and took us to new heights, because they say every great man needs a great woman, not behind him, but on the side of him. And so that's what we have. And that's what we are trying to build and we're trying to do. Our children are homeschooled. Um, they are taught the knowledge of themselves now. We're not waiting. So our 1-year-old, our 2-year-old, they are talking very clear. They know the original language, which is Arabic. And I know some of y'all might say, "Where is this and this and the third?" Well, Hebrew is really just a dialect of Arabic, if you really understand. Arabic is the language. Hebrew is a dialect of Arabic. That's why That's why if a person is teaching Arabic, they can pretty much teach Hebrew too. If a person teach Hebrew, he can pretty much teach Arabic because they border so close. But you have to go and study that, so don't get caught up in that. But Arabic, and you know, you think Arab, you know, the Arabic language is the original language of the original man and woman, which is the black man, black people. And it is so mathematically precise that makes it clear that it came with the talking of the language. So really, every other language really comes from that. So don't you think Arabic? Don't you think Arab? The only one speak Arab? No. All right. Black people, we are Semitic people because we come from that part of the planet. Matter of fact, everything we not even Semitic. I mean, we like beyond all of that stuff. Right. All of that stuff is something that come after we was here, right? None of this here, but we had to have a language, and it definitely wasn't English. Now you can argue other stuff, but we know for a fact it wasn't English, right? This is a new bastard language that's really comprised of Latin and Greek put together. You know what I'm saying? So we want to just do this stream here. We want to talk about family being the cornerstone of a great nation. And that was the introduction for me. So I'm gonna pass it off to Miss Mahdi and let her take us further into the program.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Again, it just means peace be unto you. And as my husband said, I'm excited to be here. Let me just express my excitement because it's been a long time coming. And as my husband just stated, that we are this year, 4 years in April, on our journey of marriage. And 4 is a number that represents foundation. And so through the beautiful and trying struggles and trials that we have gone through on an individual level, and then coming together as husband and wife and accepting the challenge to be a cornerstone in the building of a great nation, is significant. That number 4 is significant, and that's stuck out to me. But like you said, a little bit about myself, being the first lady of Our Money Network. My husband already having already founded this global organization to come into his massive vision as his helpmate. Really, it was number 1. It was second nature. It was so easy to come in and assist him in this area, and especially in the beginning. And now, as we are growing and expanding, we are coming across new challenges, new expansion, new terrain, and things of that nature. And so it is because of the different dynamics that male and female relationships bring. It is because of the different experiences, the trials, the tribulations, the things that we have gone through and are going through and will go through, that really inspired this broadcast here. And like my husband said, separation and independence is something that he started, like he said, a few years ago. And then as the journey has been going, we saw a need to bring the male and female, the marriage dynamic forward. Because in our journey, we weren't seeing us out on the field in either arena, whether we're talking about business or whether we're talking about spiritual. We didn't see both a husband and wife on the battlefield in the same manner, and that's okay that everybody does not operate the same. Some people are, the supportive role can sometimes be an unseen role, no less valuable at all. So like I said, we just recognize that we don't see us out here. And so sometimes, God has a way of making people, as we learn ourselves, and as we are growing in this mission, in our assignment, in our roles in the building of a great nation, sometimes you're called out to be that attracting force, to call other couples, other male and females of like minds out from their hiding place, so to speak, or wherever they are, or whatever they may be doing. But sometimes we don't move until we see ourselves. So I think that my husband and I coming here on a weekly broadcast discussing such a topic, such a subject as this subject of separation and death, like my husband said, that can be a really alarming or frightening title. It's necessary and real nonetheless, but being able to go at it from the aspect of separation and independence, well, that gives us more of the opportunity to discuss, well, what does that actually look like when we start talking about separating and going into independence, going into our own? Well, then family is right along with that, because as my husband mentioned, our children being homeschooled, that's not an easy task in and of itself, right? But when you think about how many single mothers are out there, how many single fathers are out there whose primary focus on a day-to-day basis is to keep a roof over their head, their children's head, clothes on their back, food on the table, and the lights on, water running, then as a single parent with children, that's even more maybe far removed from one's minds of actually trying to make that a reality, educating their own children, because their focus is, I got to make some money. I got to go on the job. I got to go and do this. So if we're talking about becoming independent, the need then for both husbands and wives, for men and women to be able to cohesively, to be able to work together, right? For one common cause. That's another aspect of it. For one common cause, to be able to work together, to see something for a greater good, bigger than just, well, my profession is this and this is just what I want to do, or I want to do this and this is just my thing. But to see a cause that's bigger than us individually, that would cause us to say, well, we have to do what we have to do to establish a future for our children. So again, all part of the conversation, all part of the inspiration and the idea behind coming here to talk about family, the cornerstone of a great nation. So that's pretty much my intro, why I'm excited to be here with my loving husband. And so go ahead, please. Yes, take us to the next level.
All right, so let's break down separation and independence before we get into our main topic, because the name of the broadcast is Separation and Independence. So for those that don't know, separation is when two equals separate and they go their separate ways. So some people might think that in America we had that. We have never had that since we've been in America. We have never not been under the governing control and laws of our slave masters and their children since we've been here. And even when we first was let off the plantation, they found a way to put us back. And then we had segregation. Segregation and separation might sound similar, but they are similar in certain aspects, but at the root of them, they are different. Separation meaning we have our own land, we govern, we make our own policies, our own laws, we govern ourselves. Segregation meaning we in our own part of the country, our town, our city, but we're still governed by outside forces. That's segregation. So we have never had separation, which is the solution to the black and white conflict in America, in the world. And this doesn't mean that it won't be a dealing of the side of like we wouldn't deal with them if we was put in our own territory and we did our own government, but we will be a Soviet nation because in America, as it is, stands right now, black people, we have become a nation inside of a nation. All right. And we don't get no equal rights or laws or justice under their laws. This just doesn't happen. Right. We don't have to sit back and go back and forth with that. And if you are white and you are listening or Caucasian, this is not something that is foreign and is against you. You know, you should want this. If you really like black people, love black people, like you said, you not a racist as the forefathers was and some of your ancestors was, then you would be pushing with us to get separation so we could establish and get equal justice. But as long as we are in America and as long as we are under their control, they will never give us equal justice under their laws because it's not in their nature. They didn't design it to be that. We was always with the thought in mind that when they wrote up the Declaration of America, when America became independent, this is in 1776, the black people that was in this country was in chattel slavery, servitude slavery. That's just a fact. That's the history. We don't. There's no arguing that. That's there. All right. And America doesn't. They don't even refrain from telling us this. I don't understand how our own people really try to argue this when they tell us this in the books, in the schools, from policies, from stuff that's out. This is written. We were slaves. All right. They had no problem, and we got plenty history books to go deep into that. So that's separation. Independence, well, that borders close to freedom, but independence still can be a little different. When you're independent, meaning you pretty much produce your own. You are not subjugated. You feed yourself, you shelter yourself, you clothe yourself, you got your own money system, you got your own everything. That's independence. All right. Now, you can be free somewhat and have a certain level of freedom, even in America right now, because you hear us say we financially free, but that just means that our money is not dependent on somebody paying us a paycheck. That's what that means. That meaning that I don't have to trade my time to take care of my family. That's what financially free means. And I can just be making $6,000 a month. Well, my expenses is only $3,000. That means I'm every month $3,000 to the good to do what I want to do, and I don't have to get up and trade my time for that type of income. That's what financially freedom means. So you can experience different levels of freedom, but there's no such thing as independence without it being in its full totality. It has to be full where we produce our own food. We teach our own children. We got our own laws, our own government. We got our own territory that we protect. See, we don't have nothing in America that we protect. See, you can say, well, that's why we need land. That's why we get land. Yeah, but you pay taxes on that land. You're paying a mortgage on that land. And whatever the county, the state, or the federal government decided they want to impose on us on that land, we have to submit to it because we don't have an army, or they will forcefully move us off of that land that we think is ours. That's just the hard truth. You know, this ain't no knock on you having land of your own or whatever like that, but it's really still not yours. You still have more. You are better off than somebody that don't have any, right? That is true because you can produce what you need to produce, but being independent, meaning we will be totally self-governed in a territory that is ours. You feel me? Without not just saying on a piece of paper, but the government still got the right to do what they want to do with it. That's separation independence. Now we're talking about family. That's independence. So we got to separate first, and then we have to get independence, but we can only get independent when we unite. But it's going to take the strong families, the linking of the families to produce this great nation. All right. See, we are living in a great nation, and America is that. We can't nobody argue. I didn't say good. Good and great don't mean the same thing. But America is nowhere near a good nation. They are a great nation because on what they have done, how they have helped the world advance technologically and all other different culture areas and all of that. But America is not good at its core. All right. So when we're talking about the cornerstone of a nation, a great nation, where we look at the history of America, the founding fathers, they had strong families. They come from strong families. They had wives that reared their children. They left an inheritance. They left a whole country and a bunch of slaves for their children. So that right there proves alone that families, strong families, united families are the cornerstone of a great nation. So we have to take on this same role. That's why we have to understand certain laws that we have to abide by, meaning adultery, fornication. All of this undercuts strong families.
That's right.
You follow me? So we have to understand that this is not there to restrict us from doing what we want to do, but it's there to make us better as a people. Where I don't have to worry about you. If every man has his own wife, then there's no adultery. There's no fornication. That's going to minimize divorce, all type of stuff. Where the divorce will be an inside thing. It won't be something that was caused from somebody from the outside. You feel what I'm saying? From knowing that this man is married, leave him alone. Or this woman is married, leave her alone. You feel what I'm saying? That's just how we're supposed to function. This is a righteous type of way, and that will make us stronger. So we can look at the founding fathers of this nation, presidents, all of these big top of the line people, the Kennedy family, the Bush family, the Clintons. We can look at these are strong families, right? We can look at this here. And the Trumps, all of this. You can say what we can say what we want to say about Donald Trump himself, but his father left him enough money, and he took that money and whatever he learned from his father, he made it into billions. And they said it was only $1 million. Wow. Now, how many of us had that type of knowledge? We got $1 million right now. Well, the average person that we know that has the work paycheck mentality, hey, they'll be trying to go and get that $1 million house. They stay in California. They ain't even thought about the taxes on the house and nothing like that, right? Then some of us, we so foolish, we'll be trying to go buy a Bugatti with $1 million. Hey, Bugatti costs $1 million, except you don't even get the tag. You don't have no tag, no money for the tag, right? This is where we'll be thinking, I want a Bugatti. So Trump did that, but it was the strong raising of him where he was able to do anything like that. Look what the Jews left their people, their children, they grandchildren, their generations, the whole complete banking system. So how strong is that family? Right? So we can, and they still here. They still in power, all right? They still run things, but it ain't Father Rothschild. He been dead, right? But we know the Rothschild is still a strong family. When we talk about Rothschild, we talk about the Rothschild family, the Warburg family, the Rockefellers family, the DuPont. This is a family we talking about. You feel me? These are families coming together, and they understand the signs of mating. We don't understand that. Right now, we will let our children, especially our girls, go and date anybody. We don't even want to study. We don't even want to say, no, hold on, bring the boy to us. Hey, what's your plan for the future? What are you doing? What are you finna do? Because what's your agenda with our daughter? Well, you know, I'm gonna go to coach school, get this job. Oh. Boy, hey, when you get out of school, ain't gonna be no job. So that ain't gonna fly there. So you don't have nothing in your head right there. You gotta go and do some more study, come back with another vision, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. Yeah, you might do. Right? But this is the line in the making up of what's your background? What you come from? What did your family do? You know what I'm saying? What does your parents do? Where they at? Where your grandparents at? See, we have to know what's the genetic code. What have your family done for us to even think that you have a strong gene where you're going to do something great? because it starts in the home.
Mm.
But I'm passing mic on that.
I knew it was coming my way, but I was ready. I said the key word from what I just was hearing from my husband right now is mentality. Because in order for a physical separation to take place, in order for us to move and to establish independence of our own, that separation has to take place here first. It's a mental thing. And then as you just follow along, but as you start to think about separation in a mental level and a mental capacity in all of the areas and all of the arenas where we have to separate, what we have to separate from, first identifying what we have to separate from. In identifying that, well, then we start to connect the dots to the family. Education is one of the, if not the most important aspect of separation, because those same bankers that my husband just talked about, it is the bankers that have set up and established the public school system, as you now know. The educational structure that tells you to do what you do for this 8 hours a day, this type of training and programming and killing of your own creative mind, this was scientifically set up by somebody, not just by a teacher. Like I said, these banking families that were part of establishing what is now America and establishing the World Bank, the monetary system. If we don't see the connection of how it's directly connected to us, then we won't even know who and what to separate from. But again, it starts here in your mind. So because my husband talked about education, and that's something that I personally, it's really dear to me as I'm even growing in the educational space, that you have to have a strong family structure to properly educate your children. Because the same groups of people that my husband just mentioned, think about, he talked about the Jews, right? In the workforce. Well, how many Jews did you see, do your children see in school? Probably never. You don't see them. They have their own separate educational institutions. They're not being taught the same thing that our children are being taught in the public school. That's mass population. That's the herd teaching, right? Send the mass to slaughter. That's what the public educational system does. But again, if we're not having these kind of conversations, then we won't even see that type of relevancy. We won't even see that connection from education, schooling, to the careers that we choose. Think about it. Like kindergarten and first grade, they have career day where they bring in a parent or different people who are in different fields of work to show off or showcase their career, their job, their occupation, so that these little minds, these growing baby minds, can fixate their mind on their future by saying, oh, okay, these are my options. This is what I'm going to aspire to become. A police officer. For when you really get down to the root of it, for the Federal Reserve. I'm going to be a worker to uphold and keep their system and structure going, right? I'm going to be a teacher for the Federal Reserve. I'm going to keep their educational system going. I'm a pawn. But this is what you give the babies, right? These are the things that you say. So when you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? You haven't put Abraham and Noah in their face. You haven't put Lot and Jesus in their face, so that they can see their direct connection with God to say, well, what problem am I here to solve? What am I here to accomplish, to establish, to conquer? That's not the mindset that we're putting in our children. So how can that separation actually take place? So I don't want to go, too far off on that, but I just think that that's a really important thing to get into, dealing with the mentality. And even, I don't know how you feel about it, but just to get into the comments and see what our audience has to say about what we have been talking about, because to me, these are conversational pieces. We're coming here with information, things that we discuss, things that we study, things that we have learned, things that we have grown to understand and still are unfolding. But I think it's important to make this more of a how do you receive what's being said so that we can build upon it. Because if these are not conversations that are happening where you meet on a regular basis, whether you're in church, whether you're in the mosque, if we're not having these kind of conversations, if we have not identified what's at the root of the problem that we all face, see, regardless of what religious class, whatever title you hold, don't hold, or whatever, we're still facing the same day-to-day problems. We're still bound by the same, if you don't have X amount of dollars to live comfortably, then you're not living comfortably, or you're out on the streets. So we're still suffering from all that, regardless if you call yourself a Baptist or a Jew, a Christian or a Moor. It doesn't matter. So if we can't come together to discuss this at the dinner table as a family, then it's like, well, what good is it? What good is it, to just have these discussions if they're going to fall on deaf ears, or if there's nothing that's starting to light up in your mind to get you thinking, or to cause you to question, that could cause us to go further or deeper, or go back and study something else and pull something else forward, So that's my piece. I like it. I love it. I'm really passionate about that educational piece. So that part kind of gets me. I kind of get stuck there. But when you're talking about separation, as I pass the mic, you got to think about a lot of things. My husband talked about finances. That's something that's important, because if you're talking about a new educational system, it doesn't matter what you're talking about new. You have to be talking about some form of money, some form of currency, some form of having what's required, what's required to acquire the necessary things for us to move forward, to separate and have our own. So pass that over to you.
All right, so family, put your comments in. Go ahead and type your comments and what you say, and we will get to them in a minute. And I want to get back to family being the cornerstone of a great nation. Now, we was talking about America and the founding fathers of this nation, and also talking about the Jews, primarily the Zionists. We see how strong they are. We can look at our Mexican family and see how strong they are. But we can go back in time and look at what group of black people been in America teaching strong families for almost 100 years, the longest. Well, this is the Nation of Islam, right? So regardless if you don't like the nation for whatever reason, or you think because your religion separates you from the nation, that's just how you perceive it, which is totally incorrect. Since 1930, the Nation of Islam has been preaching strong families, strong marriages. This is what it has been at the core of it. And what has kept the nation running this long has been the strong families. In 1942, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was put in prison during the height of World War II by the president of that time, Franklin D. Roosevelt. See, a lot of us don't know the history, and we take it upon ourselves to let the enemy teach us and say whatever they want to say about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and then we just regurgitate it. But we don't know that the sacrifice that this man made for our liberation. Right. He went to jail without committing one crime and did nearly 5 years because of the message that he had in his mind to teach and train and to show black people the way forward in teaching separation. All right. He went to jail. But since he had a strong core family backing him, the nation didn't fall. And it was his wife, Mother Clara Muhammad. May Allah be pleased with her, that her and the sisters of the nation kept the nation afloat, because most of the men was in prison for so-called draft dodging, when they were trying to send our people to go and fight the wars, and they didn't want the Muhammad on the streets teaching Islam, and Islam is freedom, justice, and equality. And some of the roots of Islam, we don't go and fight for the infidels. We don't go and kill without a cause. So we have nothing to fight for over here. We not getting no justice. So they locked up the Muhammad and a bunch of the followers. But the nation stayed afloat for nearly those 5 years till the Muhammad came back because of the strong families.
That's right.
So now we bring it up to modern time. That was in the 40s. So now we bring it up to this 1977 in the rebuilding process, where the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who rebuilt the nation from zero, nothing. Everything was gone. All the followers were gone. Everything the nation had, everything was gone, are in the hands of those who wasn't with the Muhammad anymore. But the minister rebuilt the nation to where we're at right now. But how did he do it? Well, he had a strong family. His whole family backed him. And the number one person that backed him was his wife, Mother Khadija Farrakhan. She was the first secretary of the nation in the second phase, in this rebuilding process. So the way we look at families and the way everybody else look at family is totally different. See, we honor family. We know that the woman has a role to play in this. So not only was she over the rearing of their children, and they have 9 children. Not only was she over the rearing of the children, but she had to play a vital role in the reestablishment of the nation and also of the final call distribution. It was Mother Khadija. So this is back to the strong families. So if we can't talk, what other strong family that we have? Well, we have, though, you can say the Obama family is strong, right? They exercise and they shown, when Obama was the president, the moral rightness that family exhibited to the world on that stage, with all the disrespect that they taught, and it didn't break them. Barack didn't have one scandal in his 8 years as the president. No type of he was gay on the low. He had a side piece. None of that. But every other president had some type of scandal. Bill Clinton had a scandal, even though the Clintons a strong family, but he had a major scandal, but infidelity, right? The Bushes had scandals, both of them, son and the dad. All right, Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, he got impeached, right? But Obama, the black family in the White House, didn't have one scandal. So this is showing the strongness of that family. So great nations are built on the strongness of the families, and it starts with the marriage. This is how marriage is an institution. The enemy, Satan, wants marriage to be put out of the mind of our young people, where they don't honor and respect it no more. Because he knows that as long as he can keep us fragmented and not really considering marriage, not doing marriage and doing it properly, we ain't going to build no strong family. So therefore, we will never be able to dethrone him. He built it with strong families, but he's teaching us the opposite. So it's on our duty, the ones that can see, the ones that know the tricks of the enemy. We have to exercise the power of families. And it all starts with the marriage. That institution, where people think is old-fashioned, Where the woman want to be a career woman. Well, you can do your career from home.
Ooh.
Have your base straight. Because we teach the most honorable, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he teach us that home is not the woman's place, but it's her base. See that? That's her base. To groom the man, groom and rear the children, and for her to be a better person, she can do her career from home. But it can't be, I work a job, she work a different job. So where that lead the children?
Mm-hmm.
Well, children gotta go to public school. We can send them to a private school, but if it's still in America, it's pretty much still the same curriculum.
Yep.
It's just some of the stuff at a private school won't have them at a public school, like the police. We ain't got to really too much worry about that. But at a private school, you might have to worry about the child getting molested, whether from a man or a woman, right? This is what's happening because the teachers are sick. You feel what I'm saying? They getting teachers straight out of college. You feel me? This is what's happening. So this where the family is strong, and this why the roles have to be put back in place. Where the man is the breadwinner. Where the man puts on the hat that, hey, I'm gonna brag about paying all the bills.
That's right.
Ain't no 50-50 here, not with the bills. You feel what I'm saying? Not with that.
That's right.
Because everybody has to play the role. But it's not that you paying all the bills. No. Look what the woman has to do. She has to cook, clean, nurture the children, rear the children, and also console the man. But she needs to be, with all of that on her plate, she don't need to worry about money.
That's right.
Damn, the least that we can do is take the money out of the way for her.
Teach black.
Whatever we have to go and do, that's legal, ethical, and moral. Until we get to a certain place, the women have to understand that you have to live in the means of your husband.
That's right.
Don't call him to go out there and he go to selling dope. Then you ain't gonna be with him. He go to jail. But as long as he buying those bags and those cars, you with it. As soon as he go to jail, you done, nigga, you tripping, nigga. Damn, you weren't saying all that when I was bringing the Gucci bags and you was getting the hairdos every week, the nails did every week off the dope money. So you got to ride. If I been here for 20 years, you got to ride. You feel what I'm saying? So these are this is the mindset we gotta have. So live in the means. Don't cause him to get into a lot of debt that he can't handle. Cause then he gonna work till he die. Debt is another form of slavery. And we know this in modern time. So don't do that. Help him grow. Whatever his business is, whatever he doing on the entrepreneur, do for self tip, help him. Whatever you do. That don't mean you have to get solely in the business with him, but you can help him. Many, many ways to help. And my wife helps me on so many different levels. And she in the business too. You feel me? But if she has to do all of that, how can I have her worry about a light bill? Damn water bill, the rent. She got to worry about all that. See, because truth be told, I know some sisters might say this here and hear this, but listen. In our holy book, the Holy Quran, in this book here, it say that men are the maintainer of women. That's what this book say. Men. So you're not a man if you're not maintaining your wife spiritually, mentally, physically, economically, financially. That's the four. You got to do it. That's the four, the foundation, right? Emotionally. All of that, you have to do it. And it also say that the man is a degree above the woman. A degree. Just a degree. Right? There's not a lot. There's not much. But it is a degree. All right? So with certain things that we supposed to be able to handle, that we have to get out here and establish. So we have to go and make and do what it takes to make sure she is properly maintained and she's not worried and concerned about things like rent, mortgage, that's what we got to worry about. You feel me? Because that the case, then what we're gonna do? Help her take the slack? Well, we cooking something nice, and you know what I'm saying? We do that shit. You feel me? Well, we can do that too. Well, well, I do that too. But we go out to eat because I got the money. You feel what I'm saying? I was sitting in the kitchen and cook. We just gonna go get something to eat or order something, right? You feel what I'm saying? So that's my part of taking over some nights where she ain't just in the kitchen. You feel me? But that's a job in itself. Feeding the whole family, making sure the food is good and all that. Rearing the children. I'm out doing the work, doing the mission. And then when I'm at home, I'm running the network, doing stuff for the network. She changing all the diapers most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, she changing all of that. But that's the role. So the role of the man and the woman in the establishment of family has to be back instituted in our mind. So the next generation won't let it slip again. Because most of us come from a dysfunctional, separate type of family structure. Well, now we don't even honor family. We don't care nothing about it because we didn't come from that. Our family was separated and fragmented. You feel me? So I'm passing my on that note. But put your comments in there, and we're going to see what everybody's saying about this and what we're talking about.
You might as well get to the comments. You can say a lot. I don't know what to say, to that right now. So I'm really interested in what our folks have to say from this here conversation. Because it's a powerful one. It's a needed one. Let's get into it.
Go ahead, Reed.
Okay, Sister Saida says, the dynamics of the family structure in the Black community is deficient. That is one of the major downfalls. She understands. Oh, she said, brainwashing the children at a young, tender age. They never taught critical thinking in the public school system. Teach, sis, that's right. They only teach you how to go to school, get an education, and go work, period. Ooh, that's what a synopsis. I agree wholeheartedly, Sister Yatiro. Praise be to Allah. Because that's what they do in that public fool system, as you so rightly called it. Right? There's my sister Felicia. She said, teach, educate us. We all in this classroom together, and we just as students, we want to sit around with other students and talk about these things with actionable steps that can be applied to what we're talking about. We're not talking about nothing that's so far out there that we talk about it and go home and go to sleep on it and nothing to do. Well, no, we got to put these things in our minds so we can change our minds, so we can change our activity, so we can produce the results that we're sitting here talking about. So beautiful. This is a powerful call. I'm glad y'all are here because y'all, the energy, that says something. For you to say that it's a powerful call, then this is bigger than us. This is not just us sitting here talking about something that we just want to talk about. This is a needed conversation because it's resonating with plenty of households. You see what I'm saying? Not just with us, but this is a universal message. All right.
That's Kenny.
That's Brother Kenny. Okay, teach hard. All right now. All right, so okay, what about we have any let me see, I don't know, questions or tough pill to swallow? I seen somebody had said something about that.
That was Brother Kadam.
Okay, what do you say? Tough pill to swallow for those who want to stay under white folks. No, but that's real. That's so real. Because my husband, he said it so beautifully in his opening that we really have to understand this dynamic. That it's not about the flesh, and so but like he said, if you are Caucasian and you say that you care for us as a people, then would you not want what's best for us as a people? And seeing that we've been here for over 400 years and we still in the condition that we are in, then you should want for us if you truly have a heart for us. So that's beautiful. Sister Nicole said, strong families are the foundation of every thriving community. Wow. Teach. We've been conditioned to compete and hate one another. We're stronger together with wealth.
Don't leave the wealth out of that, Sister Nicole. Now, don't do that. Now, sleep money, miss sleep money.
Miss sleep money right there. That's another strong woman right there. Part of a strong dynasty right there.
Don't leave that out.
Don't leave that out. Get my husband excited. Brother Jason, the 81 day one, he said they go after the children starting at the age of 4 to 7.
Yep, that's right. That's when they want to get to the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Before they start thinking right, because the only way to change your subconscious mind is that you have to see something different and want something different. The story of Robert Kiyosaki, and I can tell this story. We'll come right back to the comment, but I want to tell this quick story. I was kind of blessed on 2 levels. Me and my family, we grew up poor because my mother and father were crack users. So we grew up poor, but my father had a skill in electrician. So he could make decent money, but he had a drug problem. So the family, we never really saw the money. You feel what I'm saying? So it caused the family to go, it caused my mother and father to go through divorce. And then it caused us to grow up under our grandparents who were poor on both sides. They was poor. They didn't really want anything. So how did I change? Well, my father was on drugs. He had that skill. So he had an entrepreneur spirit. He had a do-for-self spirit. He just didn't really structure it right till later on in his life when he did defeat the crack. And he's been on crack since like for over 20 years now. He didn't smoke, do any drug, no alcohol, anything. You feel me? So he did overcome it. But by this time, I was already too deep in the streets because since we didn't have anything, I had dope boy cousins, big timers. I had a cousin that was out of Detroit. He was a big time dope dealer. And he was my father's nephew, but he was my first cousin. And he was older than me, kind of more like an uncle. And I looked it up to him more than I looked it up to my father. Why? Because it was the lifestyle. And then in the environment, the neighborhood I grew up in, it was other dope boys in the neighborhood that I see every day with the nice car, the jewelry rings, the different women, the all type of shoes. You know, I wanted to live like that, and I had my mind on wanting to play basketball or sports. But that one made available, but the street game, the dope game was made available, like right at hand. I didn't have nobody in the family encouraging me put the basketball in my hand, the football, but that's what I really wanted to do. But I was no encouragement there. So once you get into the streets, it's all type of encouragement to stay in the streets. You feel what I'm saying? That's all there. That's a whole nother world mentality in itself. So, but that ended up blessing me because that really gave me the entrepreneurial spirit. Even though I didn't really grow up under that mindset other than my father really having to do for self, because he'd been self-employed for years, but he never really crossed over. But just him doing that alone, and he ain't had a job in years other than what he do for himself. He owns a job now, but that was the thing that's what I needed. So when I got through, I went through that. And that goes back to, if you listen at the story of Robert Kiyosaki, it kind of correlate to that. Robert Kiyosaki was raised in a household who was workers. But he had a best friend who daddy was an entrepreneur. And when he started becoming interested and curious about making money, he went to his poor father, his biological father, and asked him about money. And his biological father told him, you want to know and learn about money and how to get rich, you need to go talk to your best friend, father. He rich. That's who you need to talk to. And he took that advice and did that. That's what made the switch. But if he wouldn't have did that, well, we wouldn't even know about Robert Kiyosaki. Because he'd end up being just an old working Japanese somewhere, Japanese somewhere, over in Hawaii or wherever he would have been. You know what I'm saying? Because he had already went to the military. So he was already losing it then. You feel what I'm saying? So This is just, it gotta be a switch. It gotta be something to trigger that make us want to understand and become an entrepreneur. So that's why if Trump's father was rich, it was nothing for him to grow up wanting to be rich. That was the norm. It was the household. So it was nothing for the Jews, the Rothschild. It's nothing for the son Rothschild, the grandson, the great grandson, the great. All of them want to be rich because this is all they know. They don't know poverty. So they don't have the thought of, they don't grow up thinking, well, I'm gonna work for this. Like Trump, youngest son right now. If you look, he already has the demeanor. When he was 10, 12 years old, he already had the demeanor of a boss. Wow, this is all I see. You feel me? I got Benzes and Rolls Royces and stuff already in the parking lot that's mine that I can't even legally drive yet. You mean working for somebody, man? Come on, man. But this is how we have to establish the wealth and build that and put that in our children. Now, this is what we do. They watch Hidden Secrets of Money. They listen to Mr. Farrakhan. They read the stuff that I was in my 30s when I started reading and picking up on this stuff, right? And start understanding this stuff. They reading it now.
Now, at 1, 2, 7 years old.
We had them watch. They listen to Robert Kiyosaki. We have them watch Blockchain Academy. We have them watch. They listen to us when we on our corporate call with Mr. Height. They know who Ty Bessie is. They know who Mr. Dalco is. They know who Kevin is. Right? They know about this stuff. Right? We're even teaching them now. They started learning who Brother Ben X is. Right? This is what they're starting to see. This is the norm. They know we can put some on Mr. Farrakhan talk. They know who's been Farrakhan. They know immediately. We can put the most Muhammad on. And they don't know it. That's that's Elijah Muhammad. Did what they say. See, this is in planning in them what needs to be. They know when it's time for crypto mornings. They know when it's time for Project Exodus. They know these things. Why? Because this is what they see their parents do. Right? They know when I'm going out to do what? Aid and help the nation. In the mission of the nation in Mr. Farrakhan. That's what they know. They know this now. You feel me? They know I'm not going to no job. They know certain days I ain't gonna even leave the house.
They probably don't even know what a job is.
They don't even know what a job is, to be honest. They don't even know. We don't even say good job and stuff. When they do good stuff, we just say good deed. We say that stuff like we don't even just have the word job. The word job is kind of forbidden in here, just like pork is forbidden. You feel what I'm saying? Just like pork is forbidden in this household, the word job is really like forbidden. It's like a forbidden word. I can't. Impossible. See, these are words that we taking out. Ain't no such thing as can't. Right? Ain't no such thing we can't do. Who said that? We ain't putting no limitations on us. So back to the comments.
Sister Saida says families don't sit at the dinner table anymore and conjugate about the day of life in general. That's true. Maybe a TV dinner or something like that. It's the most critical part of their mind's growth in reference to the subconscious mind. Absolutely. That's why they want to get them so young, you know. And this is, you said, Brother Kenny. Brother Kenny, nothing changes until your mind does. That's right. That's right.
So these are, we have to have these conversations, family. The cornerstone. If you understand, I took brick mason before, so I know what a cornerstone is. When you do brick mason and lay bricks for any type of project, house, chimney, or whatever, it's a corner that has to be laid first. That's what's called the cornerstone. That has to be laid down first. And some brick masonry, they have the lead masonry. They ones who come and lay the corner, the base, and then they go. But they make the most money. You feel what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, they make the most money. Those are ones. They call the lead mason.
Yes.
That's what they call. You feel what I'm saying? Well, they come and whatever is the foundation that has to be laid for the bricks for everybody else to lay on, they lay that and they pretty much done with the whole project. And they make more money than everybody else, right? But the cornerstone, that's what that means.
That's so significant, Supreme. No, that's so powerful. Because not only do you have a specific individual to come do that job, but the fact that they get paid more.
Mhm.
I mean that really says something. Because when you look at the buildings that are in existence now that may have been here for centuries, let's take the pyramids, right? I don't even know how old, but thousands of years old, and the structure still stands in the desert.
And it's a wonder of this world.
It's a wonder. It's one of the seven wonders of the world, right? I think there's seven wonders. But the foundation. So here we're talking about family. Look at the language that's used here. The family is the cornerstone. Family is foundational. As my husband was talking about the different things, dealing with husbands and wives and the roles, right? This cornerstone, this family, where this world wants the woman to be focused on, like you used the word modern earlier, right? Where this modern woman is being produced, where she's a career woman. Not even so much where she would be satisfied to come in the house. No, because the modern woman that's being made in this world today wants to have a stage of her own. She wants to be in corporate America. She wants to establish herself. Now, sisters, hear me out, okay? Because I am in no way saying that a woman should not be cultivated and developed. No, that's actually part of the man's duty. He must. He actually assists and aids in the cultivation of the woman. So in no way does that mean that we take a back seat in being developed. But when we put our career, when we put our desire to be COO, remember Taraji's character in the movie Think Like a Man, right? When that's our focal point, but we bringing children into the world now, right? And our focal point is the career. That's what we love and are after. See, that's not a strong foundation, because when your husband, when the man who is just think about it. The men with broad shoulders, physical anatomy, the men and the man's nature is to conquer, is to build, is to establish. This is his nature. So as the men, especially in the Nation of Islam, are establishing a way for the new world, well, if the woman is not taking heed to that, if she doesn't value that, well, to hell with you building a nation. I want to be over here in corporate America. That's where my focus wants to be. I want to get my degrees. I want to hang them on the wall. So to hell with your children, because when you're gone, what do your children have to show for what you have established for them? Well, nothing, because you let somebody else raise them. But that foundation, that cornerstone, and the woes that we go through in marriage. See, when the focus point and the focal point is not the marriage and the establishment and the being a foundation for such a great nation, when that's not the focal point, well, then it's easy for some turbulence to throw you off. You're not here to stick and stay and to work it out then. Any little thing can say, oh, I'm out of here. I'm done. Yeah, vows this, vows that. We break vows, we break promises. I don't care. See, it would be that easy to break up the home. And that's what this world is designed to do. Not to, sure, you can go and get a marriage license, but the establishment, the nurturing, the cultivation, the community, the environment is not around strong Black families. They don't care about the illusion of it. Y'all can get married, but y'all don't know the first thing about what y'all really supposed to be focused on. You over here, and like my husband mentioned earlier, the science of mating. That's a science that was robbed from us. We don't have that science. So we look at, you cute, you look good, Let's see if we can make this thing work. And if we can't, on to the next.
A bunch of marriages full of lust.
Oh, yeah.
Marrying off of lust.
Yeah. Not for the purpose of what family is supposed to be for, because that knowledge has been taken from us. But it's full circle. Back to education. Back to being the cornerstone and building with intention and with purpose. Right? But how are they going to know unless the teacher be sent? So this is good. This is really good.
And when we think about it, family, for the sisters, well, let me speak to the brothers first. Brothers, you got to have a thought out plan. But first you got to have this vision. And then you got to have a process that's going to bring your vision to fruition. That's when Allah will send you the help that you need when you're going after this thing with a purpose. And you might as well make it as big as possible.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? So whatever type of woman you think you need, she's going to come after you start the working process out of your vision. She's not going to come before that. This is how she's going to come. Because the Honorable Lord Farrakhan says, if you ain't doing nothing, you don't need a woman. She is to help you meet and accomplish great tasks. That's why you don't never see a man typically do great things without having a significant woman on his side. You just don't see it. Because not only is she to help him, but she is the one who is to fashion the children to keep the vision going. Because typically when we start something, we might don't live to see it through.
Ooh, wow.
But if we did marry the right person, and it wasn't, and she didn't come and be attracted to us by the vision, by, oh, I want to help this man do this, well, she's not going to embed that into the children, then you'll start something, they will get it, argue about it, and then it goes to nothing. So your vision eventually dies if it's not put under the right order.
Wow.
It's motion, but motion can die if you don't put the order and then the discipline to the order in place. So, brothers, get a vision, get some goals, and start working it out. And don't chase a woman, because that's going to keep you off focus. But do your work, and then you just start doing what you're doing, and then you'll see somewhere down the line, you will see the one that Allah is trying to bless you with. She might not look like you want her to look. She might not be from where you want to be from. You might even have your mind fixed on somebody else. But then he see you the one that's going to help you become that great man of God. Sisters, on the flip side, you don't need to be marrying no brother that don't have no vision and ain't working out his plan. What you marrying, he ain't finna take you nowhere. If he only working and he thinking he gonna be able to do that for however long like that, that's good. He might can maintain you now. But if he don't have a financial education, if he's not willing to do what it takes, if he's not okay with you being at home, especially once you start having the babies, hell, if he don't even want no children, what the hell something wrong with it? Like, if these are the factors you have to consider. These are red flags. These are red flags. It don't matter. Like my wife, when me and my wife married, when we got together, I ain't had nothing. She right here. So how did I win her over? How did I woo her? Right? How did I do it? Well, it was me determined with my goals and my vision. See, when she met me, I had the vision.
That's right.
And I was going after it.
Man with a plan.
And she understood that, well, he gonna keep doing it no matter. So if I like it, we make, I might as well come here work. Hey, I'm far back there. I'm gonna keep doing. I'm coming to my goals now. You feel what I'm saying? They don't get distorted over there. Yeah, we had a little pauses where we get distracted here and there, but then hey, I'm saying my mind is fixed on being a billionaire. So I even come and go. You feel what I'm saying? But hey, I'm gonna be here. And I'm going to continue to do what I got to do. I got to live a certain type of way because I function. This is how I function. Like I have to live a certain type of way. I have to be free. I'm not doing anything else. So she was the right person for it because of the struggles in the uphill road of the lifestyle that I was trying to attain for us. If she wasn't who God blessed her and fashioned her to be, then we wouldn't be here now. So, but now when I moved to Tampa permanently, I sold my car. And that income was needed. That money was needed what I sold the car for. So I came to Tampa without a car. But the plan was in place, and typically I understand, I know how to function without a car. There's too many ways to still get around and don't need it. But to understand that, but I had the goal, and we was already in the wealth accumulation phase. We was already doing that. And we just kept going. Now we bought a car. All right. Then we just bought another car. You feel what I'm saying? Now we just moved out of apartment to a townhouse. So it was the upgrade. So the mansion is next. The estate is next. Because it's by stages and degrees. Because the townhouse wasn't never the goal. But when we needed space or when we got put in a spot what we needed, when we had to move, but Allah blessed us better. Why? Because we are working and we're doing things and we're thinking on a bigger scale. Mm-hmm. So he is giving us what we can maintain periodically. So once we get this down pat, he's going to put us in something bigger. Mm-hmm. And this ain't no spookism.
No, it's not.
This ain't no spookism. All right? Allah's a man. I'm a man. So these are the factors. He's a person. He's a human. All right? So this is just the factors of it. All right? So I have to do something. I can pray about it all day, but I still got to get up and do it. Like it ain't going to happen no other kind of way because rightfully so, it ain't going to happen unless I get up and do it. Mm-hmm. All right? But that's the factor, though. So it's all about, brothers, you having a vision. Sisters, if he ain't got no vision, got no plans, and if he tell you a vision and tell you the plans, if he ain't really working it out, don't waste your time.
Don't fall for the okie doke.
Don't fall for the okie. Don't fall for the good looks. He might got a good car. He might got a good job right now. Once you talk to him and y'all go through the proper courtship process, mm-hmm. you better ask them hard questions. Yeah. Where you see yourself at in the next 5 years? Where you see yourself at in the next 10 years? Matter of fact, where you see yourself at in the next 3 years? You feel me? Because I can look at the economy and see what you're doing ain't going to last for 2 months longer. And it ain't going to be able to sustain us through the war Armageddon. I mean, these are just things we got to understand. And that way, that will keep down. And we have to understand what are the expectations. Mm. What are the expectations? You got to talk about the expectations. What are the expectations? Well, I want to be in the house in 5 years. Okay, I can give you that. But I ain't going to credit. Okay, well, how you going to do it? Well, it's the children can't go to public school. Well, I'm okay with that. Oh. Not a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You ain't okay with public school. You following him, is you? Hell no. Something wrong. Flag on the plate.
Literally. Because and this thought came to me earlier, and this is the time to say it now, because I have made different educational posts on my page, and I have seen a comment that can be relevant in terms of, if you homeschooling can be more damaging if not done, properly. Okay. I'm going to say this to that, because it's really more detrimental to send them to get their numbers, their ABCs, but to get all the other garbage and poison that they're going to get in the public school, as opposed to maybe you're not confident in what you can teach them, but you have to give yourself time. Don't expect to go from never teaching anything to being this wonderful, masterful teacher overnight. But that's not where you start. You don't start at perfect. You just start. Help will come. You know what I'm saying? whether you're reaching out to somebody like myself who you know is doing it, right? Whether you're reaching out, doing your own due diligence, see, it starts here. So it's about how you see that importance about your child, where education is. When you understand the importance of your child's mind, we got all this ADHD stuff. I can't even begin to go down that road because it's such a winding road and path, because everything feeds the next thing. You want to diagnose your child with this so you can get a check. Everything is about the dollar on one side, but then you don't understand your role in changing that, because you're sending them to a system that feeds into their so-called ADHD, which is really not a real thing in the term in the aspect of it's happening because of the causes that we're putting our children in. The foods that we give them, the public school that we're putting them in. So they stamp your child with this because this is the environment that we're in. This is where we are. This is the medicine that the environment is what shapes you. So some children are responding, and my husband is a testament of this, because he rejected the public school system at a young age. What, kindergarten? You brag about that?
Preschool.
Preschool. This man was getting kicked out. He wasn't even in there yet. He was born for this time. He was getting put out in preschool, y'all. So when I'm telling you, they was trying to diagnose him with these different things, but the reality is he was born for this time as a revolutionary, as a new world thinker, as a new world ruler. Okay, so we're not going to go too far down that. But we have to be willing to take those necessary steps. Don't psych yourself out that, oh, I don't know how to teach. Oh, and then you let that little mind in the back tell you, oh, well, it would be more damaging if I kept them home and mess up. No, it's more damaging for you to send them out.
And you can leave them at home and let them listen to Mr. Farrakhan and other motivational people on YouTube, then sending them to the public school.
Sending them to the public school, I promise you. Right? So start somewhere. Stop telling yourself that. There was another thought that I was going to say, when my husband was talking about, I can't remember what it was about, but it was dealing with the family. And back to the structure, the family, the cornerstone. Because you said something, husband, that was so key, dealing with the wife who doesn't see the man's vision. See, when we're not properly mating, you could marry that which would actually tear apart what you are trying to establish. So if the man marries a woman who does not really accept or see his vision, but they're producing children, well, how is she talking to the children? So, for example, when my husband is out, whether it's I miss him or he's been gone for a long time, which most of the time it's not a long time, but in some days when there's certain things that he has to tend to, sometimes it can be a long time. But if I was a dissatisfied woman, or I didn't understand the things that he has to do, then what am I saying to the children? Oh, he don't want to go on your daddy out here doing. I don't know what he's doing. Knowing what he's doing, but I have a bad spirit about it. So I put this in the children, causing the children to disrespect their father, breaking up the home inside the home as the other partner of the home. You see what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. This man can go upstairs and come back down. These children are waiting for him at the stairs, screaming like he just came home from a 7-week vacation. He went upstairs, y'all, and came downstairs, and they at the bottom of the stairs screaming, "Daddy!" They happy to see him. I miss you, Daddy. We're gonna get it on film for y'all one day, because I know y'all ain't believing what I'm saying. But look at this is the family environment. Let me tell y'all, this is the family environment that's being cultivated here. When they wake up in the morning, they hear each other's voice from different rooms. and they run to each other, scream to each other's names. Assalamu alaikum, Kamalia, Wali, Fahima. Sometimes one skips over a parent to get to the sibling, or one skips over the sibling to get to a parent. I'm telling you, I heard it this morning, I think, and I was outside. I wasn't in the room when it happened, but I heard it, and I was like, "What's that commotion?" It's the children greeting each other for the first time in the morning. So this is just the environment that we. And I said to my husband, I said, these children are together all day. They're together all day. They're not 7-year-old is off in this school, in this class, and these two is off in preschool and daycare or nothing like that. And then they excited to see each other. They're already together day in, day out. Wake up together, be in school together, break together, eat together, play together, and they learn together. And they still this excited to see each other the first thing in the morning.
See, that's real love right there.
Yes.
So we want to wrap this up. We got a few comments and closing remark. Okay, what is that? Okay. Kenny said, okay, sister. Say
the worst prison, is the prison of your mind.
That's right.
That's right.
Brother Kenny said, this is
heavy. Praise be to Allah. Sister, you tear cracking that. I don't know what to say, but praise be to Allah. But they said a strong beginning is vital for life and dreams to come into existence. That's right. Sister Saida, a woman that is a housewife that maintains the household, her husband, the children, and her family is considered weak or some kind of disease. That's the sickness of the society.
That's the sickness of the society. That's by design.
That's by design. That's right. That society placed you on. That's right. She said, well spoken, truthfully, Brother Fard, when you was talking about the family and the structure, and you gave that message to the sisters and to the brothers. And Brother Kenny said, I found that not only will your vision attract who and what you need, it will also repel the people who can't see what you see.
Ooh, teach, Brother Kenny.
That's good.
Teach, Kenny.
That's right.
Man, without a vision, is
lost.
No question about that. Ain't no
Beautiful.
questions about that. So, family, as we bring this to a conclusion, so let's summarize what we have been discussing. What we're saying is, family, that the cornerstone, all right, the cornerstone of a great nation is family. Family is the cornerstone. So we're saying what we're doing as the Mahdi family. We are trying to take out any excuse that any of our people or anybody will have about what can and can't be done.
That's right.
As a whole, right? You don't have to tell me our children have to go to public. No, they don't, right? You don't have to tell me I have to have a job to stay in a nice home, drive a nice car. No, I don't, right? I have to understand the money game. I have to understand and do what is willing and go through that sacrifice. It's only like a 2 or 3 years struggle. It's not even a long struggle to really get to a certain point to provide for us what we need. But we are establishing right here in Florida that strongness of a unity family, that we can do whatever we will ourselves to do because we're together.
That's right.
So as long as we got one another, as long as the children see us like this here, and they were happy. When we was in the apartment, they was happy.
That's right.
Right? Now they in the bigger house, they're more happy because they got more space to run around. So, the house bigger now. So now we were telling them in the little apartment, they stopped running around. Now they really only had a limited space to run around, and now it's so big, we really don't even tell them that. Because there ain't really no way for them to hit nothing because we got a big area here. It's a lot of space. So these are the things that we are calling on everybody to get this understanding. You put limitations on yourself, and then you put those same limitations on your children.
Oh,
because this is the example that you show them.
That's right.
This is what you show them. So this is what they see. This is what they're going to reflect. This is what they're going to do. So that being said, family, I got to plug.
Oh, okay. It's on my
We
side.
got to plug the thing in. The computer about to die. So, family, this is what we establishing these calls for. This is what me and my wife are trying to produce. We're going to keep these streams coming more than not. It will be on Thursdays under separation and independence because we have to separate the mentality first. We have to separate from what was taught to us on the plantation, what we saw from the ancestors, or whatever we know about that. We have to separate the mindset. And it starts with the way that we teach the children. That's what it starts with. But it starts with the family, the marriage, institution of marriage, the man and the woman, the husband and the wife being on the same accord that is planning a future for the children. You feel me? And showing them the example on what it takes to live in the hereafter. Here. After. Here on earth. After the breaking up, the destruction of the mentality and the will of Satan. And these are systems. So we are coming together because we want to produce righteous institutions, righteous systems. All right. And we want to pass this down to our children and show them this is the way that free and independent people think and do things. You feel me? So we don't need holidays. Like we going to Chicago. We going, that's Savior Day. That's the Nation of Islam main holiday. We got a couple. We got like 3 of them. But the main one is February the 26th, around and about that weekend or whatever. Savior's Day, the birth date of Master Fard Muhammad. Right. February 26, 1877, when he was born in the holy city of Mecca. So that's the main way. So now our first Savior's Day together, going as a family due to COVID and all of the things here, we're going to experience our first one next weekend. All right. And the experience that the children will see, but how is that, see, we don't, so we leaving on Friday, we don't ain't no, I ain't taking off of work to do that. My wife ain't taking off of work to do that. The children ain't missing no school or nothing like that. They're going to get educated. They're going to get some things that's going to take place that's going to further educate them and help them grow. Right. Also help us grow. All right. And we're going to listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan live and in person. The whole thing is really wrapped around that. And that's the experience, but that's something that we are going to keep and establish. So every week we have like a holiday, because every Tuesday, either other day of the week, we do stuff as a family.
We have a family day.
We have a family day once a week, and we go shopping like yesterday. My wife and the girls, they went and got their hair did. Well, me and Wally, the son, we went to the mall. While they were doing that, we was in the mall, right? And Wally just got stuff because he was there, you know what I'm saying? And he got some stuff. He got some Ray-Bans. Hey, he finna be 2 years old. He got some Ray-Bans. You feel what I'm saying? He got a couple more outfit, Jordan outfit, polo outfit. You feel what I'm saying? I even got Fahim or something. You feel got to go back and get Queen and get come live something in myself now.
You don't leave
yourself out. I ain't leave myself out now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go get something, man. But I think I'm finna get this Supreme J's though. You know what I'm about? Bam. You feel me? But anyway, family. So you know what I'm saying. So this is just then it was on a Wednesday. This is on a Wednesday. Right. So this is our family day is on a Tuesday. But sometimes we have an extension of that. And we're still able to still do the business when we leave. We able to still do the 3-way calls. We able to make the live stream, make the post. We able to help other people. We able to still prospect people. We be out in the marketplace prospecting people.
Absolutely. I prospected the lady that did my hair yesterday. She passed the test, but you know.
You know what I'm saying? So we interview folks. We be talking to them. They don't even be knowing they be interviewed.
They be interviewed.
You know what I'm saying? Talking to future billionaires.
That's right.
Right? And they talking to free people. They don't even know us. So we have to understand that we don't have to tell them and do this here. You feel what I'm saying? But we just ask them some questions. Why? Because if I'm trying to invite you to a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, Well, I want to know, do you meet the requirement? Do you have the right mentality for me to even bring you in and even want to work with you? It's for everybody, but everybody don't know they need it. So we really want to work with the needed, with the want, the willing, rather.
The willing.
But we want to help everybody now. If you coming to me, I'm not going to turn you down. I'm going to ask you some questions, though. You know what I'm saying?
We really only help those who are willing to help themselves.
Yeah, but when I get to asking you, what certificate you get, you be like, I want to get this one to 500 when 2 weeks later, hey, listen, we're going to sign you up 2 weeks from now. When you got the money, I'm going to put you in. I ain't turn you down. But we ain't going to sign you up for free right now. No. No, we're not doing that. Why? Because typically, if you don't have that type of money like that, when you get it, it's going to be too much of a strain for you to put it in. Because it was too hard for you to get it.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes they come through, but most times those people don't never come and do anything. Then they have us chasing, hey, look, what you going to do? So they ain't wasting my time. You was only talking about $1,000, $500 in the first place. All right, why waste my time? Right? Because you don't really want it. Like we have something where you gotta want it. Your money going to work, you ain't spending nothing. But if you hesitate to do it because either you are fearful or you actually just don't have it, then you're in a bad situation. You feel what I'm saying? So we do a lot of stuff to help educate the people, to help show, man, we do stuff for our money that really help beat back the fear that our people have, especially when it comes to investing and putting money in things. Like a lot of our people are really scared about it, because that's why you can't get a paycheck, because the money come too hard. You're too attached to it. So if it ain't something that you really want or that you can get an immediate return of, but we're giving you a 7-day return. We're giving you immediate return. We're giving you a 7-day chance to make more money off of that money. We're giving you that now, right? But if you don't really see it and really understand the dynamic of passive residual income, interest on principal, payback rewards, you don't really get that. Savings account that's growing, that's giving you a rate of return, you don't understand that, then ain't nothing we can say to you. You'll get the money and don't even call. Think about it. Because we hear people all the time, we know your mind not right when you say, man, I got these bills coming up.
Ooh.
Let me pay these bills first.
Lord help us, please.
We know right then with that person, he ain't coming.
Yeah.
He ain't coming. If you think like, because that's a thought process. That's a mentality thing.
It's a mentality.
You probably could miss that bill one month and they ain't going to even cut the stuff off.
You got residual bills. You're going to have that bill. Don't worry. That bill going to be back
that
next
bill
month.
That bill going to be back next month too. And
promise.
You still ain't going to change. You're going to be still in the same predicament. We have talked to people over the years. I have literally told people, if you don't do something now, 5 years from now, 3 years now, you're going to be in the same condition. I told that to some of our family members.
On both sides.
And they still in the same position. They ain't nothing changed. And I told them, I said, if you don't really plug into what we're doing and really adopt the mentality of what we're doing, 5 years. No, I got plans. I'm going to do this here. What you think? What you think happened?
No.
Nothing. Because you have to change things that you do. So we want to show this as a family.
Yes.
As a husband and wife. That family, we don't have to send our children to these schools to be taught nothing. We don't have to, men, brothers, we don't have to get up and go to work and do something we don't want to do. Stop being afraid. And don't tell me because you under some type of religious structure order, then you got to this got to be in black and white. If you don't want to do it, just say you don't want to do it. That's it. Right? You in the ranks of Farrakhan, we was taught to do for self or suffer the consequence when you go do for self. Well, brother, you ain't doing, hell, I ain't doing for self. No, nobody got no magic wand holding over me, no chains on me, on what I get up and do every day. That's right. Right? Nothing. And my money that I made is put back into the system, making me more money. And assets are accumulated. And I'm just showing people how to get free. Whoever want it, get it. Who don't want it, No hard feelings. We scratch you out. I have 2 red pencils. If I put that red ink on you, I will never read this ink here. I got 2 of them. If I put this red ink on you on my list, I will never call you again. Matter of fact, if I put the red ink on you and I had saved your number, I will delete your contact. Ask me why she tell you. I don't play. Don't let me put that red pen on you. Anything but a red pen. And I put the red, that's just what it is. Why? Because it's billions of people on the planet, family. We in the people business. Mm-hmm. We in an international business.
Absolutely.
We got team members all over the world. You feel me?
Literally. And I had to say it because it's not about leaving nobody out, but it's about, because y'all heard this whole entire stream of what we talked about. So we have to go after the like-minded people. We don't have time for the people who want to hold on, that's holding on out of fear, that's not willing to go. That, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, $1,000. You know, I'm not even going to get into it. But what I just want to say, y'all can come back around eventually. But we have to move full steam ahead, because the condition that we're seeing, if you read the final call and you see the stuff that's going on in this nation, across the globe, things are speeding up. We are behind on time. We don't have the time to sit and re-educate you and convince you to change your mindset if you don't wake up and look at the world and are not changing your mindset by seeing what's going on. There's nothing that I can tell you then. So with love, I say, okay, I gotta go. I have to go, because there's people, brothers and sisters that's hungry, that's been listening, that's been engaging to what we're saying, that's ready to move on what we're saying, or waiting for us to get to them. They're waiting for us to call them. So I can't wait for you. I gotta call the next person. So
let me tell you about this story that was in Houston, right? While we was in Houston in the mall, there was a brother walking around, he a realtor, passing out his real estate card. Just randomly just walking up, passing out his real estate agent card in Houston, Texas. So I called him to ask him about this. I think I called him Monday, he didn't answer. I called him back Tuesday, he answered. We set up for him to come look at the opportunity tonight. He told me he ain't even seen nothing. I ain't sent him nothing. He told me he was gonna look at it, but when I was talking to him, he was trying to get out of it, but what I was shooting at him was causing him not to just outright say no. You feel what I'm saying? Because obviously he trying to make some money. If he walk around passing out, if I walk through the mall and I'm passing out business card, I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to expand my network, get a customer, get a client. I'm trying to do that. There ain't no old if it ain't about that. Right. And obviously I need it if I'm willing to do that. Right? That's right. So when he was presented with an opportunity, he told me that he also has a business. I think it's a bar he runs or something. He said, this is what he said. He said, this business, I also run a bar. So by him saying I run a bar, not own a bar. See, it's a language. If I say I own a store, that don't really denote that I run it. You feel me? Because if I tell you I own a store, I'm not going to confuse the words. I'm going to say I own a store. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm never there. You see what I'm saying? I'm never there now because I'm the owner. I'm not there. It's a turnkey operation. You feel me? But I'm not the one to go turn the key. Mm-hmm. So I might go days and weeks down, don't even show up to the store. But I own it though. You feel what I'm saying? So he said he run his own business of boss. I said, oh, okay. So that means he got another job. That's some self-employed type of stuff. It's traditional business. He don't really have any leverage. He presented with leverage, but he turned it down. But he willing to walk through the mall, walking up on strangers, giving out his card, hoping that I want to buy a house. Not a cup of lemonade, not a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Not a hat, not a house. He hoping that I'm the person that want to literally buy a house. And I'm in Houston area now. Houston is a type of attraction type of city. Plenty of people there that ain't from there. He ain't even ask us, hey, y'all from here, whatever. Nah, I ain't from here. What are you giving me your card for? You just want me to call you? You feel what I'm saying? Well, I don't have no thought process of moving to Houston.
Right.
You feel me? So if you didn't ask me this, you just gave me your card.
Make no connection.
And then you don't even know what we got to offer you. We like really got the cook. We like got it. We have it. We literally have what everybody looking for. Literally. He ain't asked no questions. He need a house here. He gone to the next person. Then we call you. One of us call you. Then I'm with Kevin and brother Frank. Both of us making thousands. All of us making thousands of dollars every month in the program. All of them. Right? So, family, man, this is what we're saying. So, he sent me the text when I sent him the message to get on the Zoom. He said, man, I'm going to pass on the opportunity.
Oh, Lord, we're not seeing it.
That's what he said tonight when he texted me. He texted me this. I'm going to pass on. Okay. So he's in his book. Scratchy. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't even lock his number in anyway, but the number was put in his book. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, hey, man, next. But this is the mindset that we got to have, family. We are real wealth builders. We're really doing this here. But we want to establish something new. We want to bring something new to the masses, to all of our people, right? And we got to show that example. We're going to continue to report and show all this. Yeah, we probably would never just outright put our children out there like that, all right? But you might see them every now and then. You might catch a shot of them or something like that, but that's not something that we just literally run around posting about or whatever like that, because we kind of understand the whole social media creepiness. That's what we want to call it. But anyway, family, thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
We want y'all to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already doing it for our money. We're going to see y'all in the morning. Brand new crypto morning. It's compound day. I think I'm just going to let them funds stack up for whatever reason. Just to do a big compound because I definitely ain't going to liquidate it. I ain't withdrawing. But anyway, I might just let them stack up just to show everybody what I get monthly, weekly off of the certificates. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Mahdi for closing remarks.
Well, thank you for having this with me, with us, and doing this. Just seeing the people's feedback tonight definitely replenished my spirit. We could be up all night. It's 12:43. We free. Tomorrow's Friday. We don't have nowhere to be. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you all's presence. Thank y'all for being with us tonight. We will be back with more. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't just subscribe. If you stayed with us this long, if you found any value, we're asking you to share this out with other people, because we are on a global mission. This is so much bigger than ourselves and the people in our neighborhood. The word nation, should mean something to all of us. And so as we're here to strive to educate and to empower, to uplift our people here and globally, we're here with people. And so we need your assistance. Share it out, let people know about what we are discussing. Bring these topics, put it, whether you're listening live or listening on the replay, give us your feedback, comment to us, speak back, talk back to me. What I'm saying? As Vicky would say, Queen Vicky, she would say, talk black to me. But definitely communicate with us. We want to know and hear from our people, our listening audience, what is on your hearts and minds about these different things, because it's these kinds of conversations that bring us together and move us forward. That's the way we're trying to go. So that's it for me. Again, honey, thank you for taking the time out to sit with your wife and talk to the people about this timely subject.
Yes, ma'am. So we got a video for all the men. If you need to be rejuvenated, if you need to have a purpose, join the mighty FOI. Thank y'all, family, for tuning in. We'll see y'all in the morning for a brand new Crypto Mornings. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
There is a need in our community for a universal change. And it has to start with the man. Being a man of God means being a man possessed of the knowledge, the spirit, and the power of God, anointed to do his will. To build a people, you first